going to be okay with that.
Got
So
it.
tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started in real estate.
Yeah, sure. So I started in real estate only about 6 months ago. Joined a mentorship. I've been doing a bit of education for, I guess, about 3 months-ish, just because I was really fresh and new into real estate.
Yeah.
And then now I've just been tackling or trying to tackle the Calgary market, which has been a bit more difficult than I thought it would be. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I built a team in Calgary, just looking for good deals right now, which seems a bit harder than I intended to to be. So,
Cool.
having to get more creative, trying for seller finances, VTBs, AFSs, of course. But that's what I've been doing so far. And then, yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now.
Who do you have on your team so far?
So I have my realtor. I have a couple mortgage brokers because I like shopping. So
Yep.
it's pretty much shopping, right, with mortgage brokers. Lawyer and accountant all set up right now. Just
That's
it's so I
awesome.
have the systems in place first, right? Before that's kind of what I'm doing, and then trying to take
Awesome.
it one step at a time, of course. When I find a good deal. Yeah.
Sweet. And so how did you what are you doing to learn about real estate? How did you learn about agreement for sales, seller financing, vendor take back mortgages? How did you learn about those?
So those were kind of on my own. I decided to take an agreements for sale course.
Oh, sweet.
It was through Barry McGuire, so
Oh yeah,
I
he's
did
a
that
lawyer, right?
for yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer out of Edmonton, so I decided to do that. I got all the paperwork for it and everything, and then I actually connected with my realtor who's done AFSs before. He's a real estate focus, so that's
Good.
uh that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. So agreement for sale, um, like, so what are you looking for? If I come across like an agreement for sale, what would be
Mhm.
your ideal deal that I could present to you?
So my ideal is something that's about 10 to 20% below market value, and it has the term of the AFS should at least be like 4 to 5 years, just so I have time, right?
Yeah.
Especially like if there's the mortgage in place, if it has about 4 to 5 years still left on it and it's a good rate, that's perfect for me because it gives me time to essentially solidify my exit strategies.
Cool.
Whether I bring in a partner, bring in private money, whatever that be, wholesale the AFS at the end.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there's enough time uh, to buffer essentially till the end of that AFS.
Cool. And are you in any networking groups for real estate?
I'm in quite a few, I'd say. I reached out through the Alberta Multifamily Network, of course, and quite a few. Like there's like the Real Estate Masters mentees, those guys with Wayne Hillier.
Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah, I follow them quite a bit. My mentorship's in Prosper Path, so that's out of Winnipeg.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Manjeet.
yeah, with Angie with raising capital and everything. So I'm in
That's
there
awesome.
as well.
Sweet. So
I'd
you're
say those
under
are my
his mentorship?
yeah,
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, he
yeah,
knows this stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Bryce Kerminsky. He was working with Prosper Path and Manjeet. So Bryce Kerminsky is like with Black Card University, was with them. They went to Manjeet. Now he's back at Black Card.
Mhm.
But he's actually being my social media coach. Bryce is. So that's sweet that we've got a mutual connection there. And I think because he's in Winnipeg, Manjeet, right?
Yes.
So they started up the Winnipeg or no, Manitoba Real Estate Investor Association. I think it starts up April 20th again. Um,
Okay.
and I think Manjeet's one of the speakers.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's cool. Yeah, it sounds like you got like a good circle of influence that you're like learning from, and
Yeah.
that's sweet. So, do you own a house currently?
No.
No.
So yeah, actually currently going to be starting to rent something just because it would be my first one with my girlfriend, and we don't want to. We're like,
Okay.
let's be cautious, let's be smart before we go buy something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And how long have you lived in Calgary for?
20 years, I'd say. So I'm not actually born here, but yeah, I've been here for about 20 years. Yeah.
Cool. Where were you born?
Bahrain, if you know where that is.
No, not
No,
sure.
it's near the Middle East. It's a very small country.
Huh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, I
Yeah,
have zero accent though. Like as you can probably tell, I have zero accent. So
yeah.
it's the 20 years of Calgary that took it.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. What about yourself? How'd you get into real estate? I love to hear people's stories, and where you currently are.
So my mom's been a realtor since she was 18 years old, and I was homeschooled, so I got to be like first like hands-on with her, learning about real estate. Bought my first house when I was 13 years old because my mom had this friend that was passing away, and his kids never visited him. Mom would always visit him, and he's like, "Oh, can I like leave you my inheritance?" And mom said, "No, I'm not your friend for your money." And he's like, "Well, can I leave it to your kids?" And she's like, "Sure." uh, so Cole and I, my brother, we each got like a lump sum, and then mom laid out like three different options for us. It was like invest in the stock market with a financial advisor, buy real estate, or I can't remember what the third one was, but we chose to buy real estate. So we
Yeah.
gave her the down payment. She co-signed for the, well, qualified for the mortgage, and then when I turned 18, then I actually went on title.
Okay.
Um, and then we bought a lot in Mere, which is like an hour that way.
Hmm.
Um, Bought it for 10,000, and then my brother sold his a couple of years, well, 10 years later for 17,000, and then traveled Europe with it. I still have mine. It's probably worth 15,000,
Okay.
but there's like 10 people that live in Mere.
Yeah. Interesting.
um, yeah, and then when I was 18, my dad co-signed for a mortgage for me and gave me the 5% to the down payment. And then I had like a mother-in-law suite downstairs, and then I rented out the upstairs because there was this program where you could buy a second home for yourself for 5% down.
Hmm.
So even though I wasn't going to live in it, we still could get in for 5% down because it was a second home for my dad.
Mm.
Um, and I remember the lawyer going like, "You can't do that. That's mortgage fraud." And I'm like, no, like that's what the mortgage broker said." And so the head of RBC calls the lawyer and he's like, "No, this is all good. This is one of our programs." He's like, "I've never heard of this." That was fun.
Nice. Ahead of RBC's radar right away.
Yeah. This is not mortgage fraud.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And
And
then
so
that mother-in-law suite still?
I actually refinanced the house and I took out 30,000 from that property, and then I turned it into a legal suite. So I put a stove down there and fireproofed everything, and the smoke detectors that talk to each other.
Nice.
Yeah, I love suites. Those are probably my favorite. I think everyone should own four of those.
Yeah. Amazing. So, and then sorry, most of your portfolio's in Alberta then, hey? Or,
Yes, yeah, 100% of it is. Most of it's in Red Deer. I've got an apartment building in Castor, which is actually up for auction right now. So you can go
oh,
and bid on it. And February 27th to March 2nd is when the auction bidding process will start.
okay.
So it's a new thing we're throwing a property up for auction. There is a reserve bid,
Mhm.
but it's still, I think the 7 unit apartment building is listed by myself because I'm a realtor. It's listed at 350,000.
Mhm.
And then there's a reserve bid somewhere in here.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
yeah, but it's
You have details for that, like in a package or anything?
yeah, I can text you the link to that after. It's got all the financial spreadsheets and performance sheets and rent roll and all that stuff. But the problem with Castor is since it's a small town, all banks require 40% as a down payment. So it's like
Wow.
you're buying a $350,000 building for the same down payment as a $700,000 building.
And
It's like, okay, well, why would I do that?
yeah, exactly. Interesting.
Yeah. So auction, it'll be all cash. So it'll sell for less, but no conditions and no banks, and it'll finally sell, hopefully.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So how long have you been in your job for?
It's been about a year and I think 3 months now. Yeah, about a year and 3 months. So
What'd you do
yeah,
before that?
sorry.
What'd you do before that?
I was doing my master's actually.
Oh, that's intense.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did that yeah, 2 years ago now. That was in Ontario. I did that. It was in forensic science actually. So
Whoa, cool. Become a private investigator.
yeah, I could.
Or is that
Not with the
CSI?
tech, but yeah, that's one thing they teach you actually is don't trust what CSI tells you because it's all they call it the CSI effect actually. So
That's fun.
yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Give you
Mhm.
insight into diving into deals. It's like, are they
Yeah,
really telling
exactly.
the truth on their numbers? Because it doesn't line up over here.
Yeah, I take my little magnifying glass and then I just start looking. I'm like, oh, is this fraud? Maybe.
That's fun.
Nice. So then you've been in real estate for a long time then, hey, starting at 13.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so I'm a full-time realtor. So that's what I do for my day job.
Okay.
Well, day and night job.
Mhm. Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always work when other people don't work. So a lot of evenings, weekends, and late nights.
Nice. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I have the best job.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah,
Sweet. So
100% commission, so it's a little stressful at times because you got to budget well and pray a lot and hope things turn out well.
yeah, 100%. And then how long have you been a realtor?
I also started when I was 18, just like my mom.
Okay.
So I'm 31, just about 32.
Gotcha. Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what do you
And
want to
then
do for your first deal?
so I have two things essentially. It's either a house hack that I eventually will go into after I met with my girlfriend. Like that seems like the easiest and the least to put down, either a duplex or fourplex. And then for my first deal, there I do want to, if I can't get it with the 5 to 10% down, then it's more looking at creative deals on the higher units, so like a 6 to 8 unit multifamily, just because then I can use some commercial lending at least. Sellers are more open to VTBs. I found on the 6 to 8 units. Residential, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So,
Yeah,
so yeah, that is what I'm looking for currently, pretty much. And then yeah,
cool. Yeah, house hack is my
yeah,
favorite. I think everyone should do that 4 times, then you're kind of set.
yeah, yeah.
So do you,
As
do
long
you,
as I guess if you're with someone, yeah, like I guess if you're with someone, as long as they're okay with like moving ever so often, or
yeah, yeah.
every year to maximize, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working on one right now. They're trying to buy a
Yeah.
triplex and they just bought a house last year and they're trying to buy this triplex because they can live there for free by renting out the basement and the upstairs and the garage. Um,
Mhm.
and since they bought it last year, the banks are like, oh, you just bought a house last year and you're going to turn that one into a rental and you're going to buy something that's kind of like a rental. Yeah, no, go to a different bank. Um, so yeah, waiting a year is nice because then you'll have more banks that will want to lend to you.
Yeah, fair enough. But that's I heard you can do it earlier, but then yeah, exactly. That same thing happens. They're like, but you just bought something. How can you do this? Yeah,
They take their magnifying glass out and like,
yeah. This is suspicious. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
nice.
In his case, it's totally legit. It's like he's newly married, and yeah. So I've
Hmm.
yeah, house hacking is the best. You just buy something, live there, and I just do that 4 times because that's the equivalent of buying something else as strictly an
Mm,
investment property. So I'd rather have
yeah,
four than one.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Mm,
literally the best strategy. Like, and it doesn't really need to get more complicated than that if you just did that 4 times. And like the house that I'm in right now, we're actually putting a basement suite into our house. Um,
okay.
and like it's a big house. It's 2,400 square feet plus the basement. So in the basement, like you just core out a door, put a legal suite down there. You've got $1,200 a month income coming in from your basement suite, and you can live still in a really nice house that's legally suited. So that could be your fourth one. I would say like your first one is not your forever home. And in your case, the next three won't be either. But then the
Yeah,
fourth one, you can get something nice and still have it as a house hack. And then it's
yeah,
an investment property too. Then if you want something bigger too, like later on, just your fifth house, you keep your four legally suited ones, and then they'll pay for your nice new fancy house.
yeah. I like the way you think, Bryce.
Thanks. Yeah, best
Nice,
strategy I know.
nice,
All my friends
sweet,
have legally suited houses.
nice. And then were you doing most of the legalization or just
No,
hired out? Yeah,
I'm not handy.
yeah.
I'm building it into the mortgage.
Nice,
Yeah, so I'll put
sweet.
5% down, and well, in this case, it's like 5% on the first 500,000 and then 10% on the balance. So it's going to be like 600-ish thousand. So I'll do 25,000 and then 10,000. So it'd be like 35 grand to buy this one. But the suite is costing 60. The reason why it's costing so much is because there's actually no separate entry right now. So we've got to excavate and then core out a literal door.
Yeah, that's fair. Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. And then I remember we were talking about our favorite books.
Yeah.
You've read Money People Deal, right?
yeah. Yes. Stefan Arnio.
That's I still have to write that one.
Yeah, because Bryce Kerminsky, Black Card University is Stefan Arnio. Stefan Arnio's dead. But Black Card University is still around.
Nice.
And they're just like a mentorship program, just like Manjeet. But like, yeah, if you get a good realtor, like this is what I do with all my clients is I just educate them. And then it's like, okay, well, we're free mentorship service. But if
Yeah.
you work with me, I'll work with you. So just like you're a realtor, like you've got a good realtor, continue working with them. But if you're loyal to him, he's going to be loyal to you and he'll like share you all the secrets. He'll literally go to bat for you. If you're like, okay, I want a fourplex, that's going to be my next property. He'll go through the expired listings. He'll call all the realtors and he'll see if any of those would want to sell. So if you just stay loyal to your realtor, that's the best thing for the long term. Like, yeah, I would do that.
100%. Sweet.
And then Manjeet, just learn everything you can from him because he's a wealth of information using OPM, other people's money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the way you find like OPM is by going to like Wayne's real estate investing network and going to those different kind of things. And then if you just find a deal, even if you don't even have it under contract, just talk about the deal that you're thinking about, and then you'll gauge people's interest. Like, oh, like what are you working on? I've got qualifying power. And then you could take like qualifying power from someone, and then you could go to someone else and take their down payment. And then you could be the guy that brings the deal together, hires the contractors, the lawyers, the accountants, the realtors, brings that all together, and you can be the deal maker. So that's what Money People Deal talks about. He breaks it into 3 parts: the money, the people, and the deal. And then however many parts you bring to it is how much of the pie you get. So if you bring the deal, you get 33%. If you bring the people, you get like another 17%. So then you're getting 50% of the project. And then the money partner gets the other 50%.
Gotcha. Sweet. Yeah, because that's definitely on my read. I've been recommended it, I think 3 times now. So
that's impressive.
Nice.
Do you normally read hard copies or Audible?
I'm split. Like when I'm at work, it's usually Audible, and then like before bed, I'll read like 30 minutes, and then in the mornings, I try to read about 20-30 minutes as well.
Ugh, that's crazy. How many books a year do you read?
How many do I have right now? Honestly, I don't read that much, so like it's been crazy in the last 6 months because I don't actually. Before this, I barely read. I was a big YouTube guy, and then just each day I read about, I'd say 40 to 50 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, helps to wake up early. Yeah, sweet.
That's cool. So you looking at any deals currently, or are you just content for now?
I've looked at a pretty big deal. It was 34 units. I did the numbers on it even with conventional financing. It still wasn't cash flowing, so I was like, I had to try and get creative with the seller, but they didn't really want anything to do with it. And I was like, okay, well, I got to step back. I think that's the biggest thing I've been learning with just analyzing deals and calling sellers is if you try to make it win-win and it's only win-lose, then just step away. Like, no, this is the pursuit. So I've been getting a lot of education from that, just diving into it. Right now, after that one, not really much deals to look at.
How'd you find that? Was it on MLS or was for sale by owner?
It was a FSBO. Yeah.
Whoa, a FSBO on a 34 unit building.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Right.
I didn't know those existed.
Yeah, it was just Kijiji. So I was like, okay, I'll call them up.
Well done.
Yeah, that's one thing too. Calling a seller for the first time, most awkward thing ever. Like I have like a little script and everything for like what I go through, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, terrifying.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like most sellers don't know how to sell property.
Hmm.
So they could be the ones that like, oh, I don't really know how to talk to this guy either.
Yeah, exactly.
I had
Yeah.
one guy, I called him and I said something like, are you wanting to sell your house? And he just was like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, you have it up for sale. Like, what do you mean you don't know?
I have I have talked to so many people. I'm like, hey, how did you arrive at that price? And they're just like, I didn't even look at this is what it feels like it's good for. And I'm just like, well, you didn't even like look at anything. That's like, okay. And then when I ask them like, why are they selling? It's just like, oh, I want to see what I get for it. I'm just like, okay, like, like, all right, sounds good.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you keep calling like for sale by owners, you can make some really good money because like I talked to for sale by owners and I explained to them that on average you will net 6 to 10% less after paying commission if you sell for sale by owner. So just by buying a for sale by owner, you can get a discount of 6 to 10% plus saving the commission.
Hmm.
Like
Yes.
for sale by owners.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sweet.
And then that's like so yeah. Yeah, Manjeet's really good. He's probably explained like if you buy something, he's explained wholesaling. What you can do too, he's probably told you this, but if you get a wholesale contract where you're getting it for like 10% less than value, you can partner with someone else, and then that 10% can be part of the down payment. So if someone's bringing the borrowing power, you got the contract, which is your 10% down payment. And so that's what
Hmm.
you're bringing to the deal. You're bringing the deal and 10% down, and then you can have part of the down payment already. Um, so
Okay.
is your realtor doing like comparative market analysis for you, explaining like if you, as he said, he'd be willing to do that, showing you what it would sell for today?
Not actually. Yeah, I haven't got a comparative market analysis from him. But,
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to like figure out what a house is going to sell for or the
mhm.
property is going to sell for. But yeah, if you find a deal and you're like, hey, like I think this is worthwhile, like the seller's willing to do seller financing, you can talk to your realtor and go, hey, like what would this actually sell for? And then if you're getting a 10% discount, then you know right off the bat. Um, yeah. So yeah, your realtor
Nice.
should do that for you. I can't really do Calgary because
Yeah.
I'd be looking at stuff and I'd be like, oh, I don't know, is this like slums? Is it like that's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fair. What's your big market then? Mainly Red Deer?
Red Deer, Black Falls, Lacombe, Penhold, kind of central Alberta.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you probably know there's actually an investor I work with pretty closely called Kevin Engel.
Oh, yeah, he's intense. His utility program is intense too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That guy's so smart. Like I don't even know how many properties he owns, but yeah, he's crushing it. How'd you meet
Yeah.
Kevin?
I actually work with him through the utilities thing. So I've been working with him as well
Oh,
because it just makes so much sense. So and he's
yep.
well, he's the information and essentially where I want to be.
Yeah.
So this makes sense. I met Kevin and I was like, he's where I want to be. So why don't I do exactly what Kevin does?
Yep, absolutely. Keep that in your pocket and it's like, yeah, just another stream of income.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So have you seen one of those presentations before then?
Yeah, yeah. I told him if I ever decide to do it, that I'll be signing up with him.
Yeah.
He's cool. He
Yeah.
took me for coffee.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
Well, this Sunday, it's my church puts on. It's called Success Builders, and so we bring
Hmm.
in like intense speakers from all across the world that are entrepreneurials, multi millionaires. We had one guy last time. He owns 60 companies. And he was our guest speaker. Um, his one company is worth $1 billion.
Oh,
And then there's a couple others that are like 100 millionaires.
okay.
And it's like the owner of Norwex is one of them who like helps organize things. So that's this Sunday. It's going to be live streamed. I wouldn't, but you're welcome to come down. Like I can save you a seat at my table if you want to. There's about 200 people that gather for it.
Oh,
But
wow, okay.
if you want to watch it online, it's quite intense. I can text you the link for that and the auction as
Yeah,
well.
I definitely watch it online for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it'd be sweet.
Sweet. Yeah,
This
definitely send
guy,
me over the link.
okay, I'll do that. This guy started out selling cardboard and now he's got multiple businesses.
Yeah,
He was homeless selling cardboard because I guess in the States you can, if you recycle your cardboard, you get money, just like
yeah,
our bottles.
yeah. Oh, hmm. Interesting. Nice.
Well,
Cool,
I'm
cool.
excited that you're gonna do a house hack to start off, and then just gonna keep going from there. And um,
It just makes the most sense. Like why only pay for your mortgage? Like why be the only person that pays the mortgage? Why not get somebody else to do it?
yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, it's literally the best. And like, my wife just became a mortgage broker,
Okay.
and so the income from your basement suite adds to your personal income. So the house helps you buy the house. And then when you go to the next one, it's almost like that first house doesn't exist on your books. It's like it doesn't affect your total debt service ratio, it's called. Because if you make this much,
Okay.
they only allow you to qualify using this much of your income. But if you've got a rental property, it takes out a little bit of that. And so, but with a legally suited one, it's like it doesn't exist on your books.
Yeah.
So you still can qualify for basically the same amount because you've
Hmm.
got income from the basement, income from the upstairs, and so it kind of covers itself. Um,
Hmm.
so you can get one, get a second one, get a third one, get a fourth one, and you should be able to get four.
Gotcha.
Um,
Sweet.
cool. Well, I'm excited to follow along, and I'm excited to celebrate you when you get your first house.
Thanks, Bryce. I appreciate that. Yeah, so definitely send me over that Sunday link.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sweet.
Looking forward to meeting you one day in person and chatting again in the future.
Absolutely. Okay. Sounds good, Bryce. Okay. Take care. See
See
you,
you,
man.
bud.
Bye.